Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be looking at a very popular thinker, but I use that term thinker lightly because he is absolutely horrible and he gets a lot of respect. I'm going to show you why. It's a few different shorts from him, and let's dive right into it, and then I will comment and conclude as usual. So here we go.
It's just our fortune and misfortune as a species that
It's just our fortune and a misfortune. So we're going to wait on what he says there, but he's saying that a thing is both good and bad. Already we're starting out with a contradiction. Contradictions do not exist.
we think in stories.
It's a fortune and a misfortune that we think in stories. No, we do not think in stories. This is not how our brains work. We think using abstractions, forming concepts, identifying concretes and integrating them into a larger thing. Of course, we can create stories, but we do not think in stories. Let's continue.
So if you want to make a point, you have to take the messiness of reality and cast it as a story. Otherwise, people don't understand. And
people are too dumb. We have to take the messiness of reality and create a story and cast it sort of like a spell, sort of an imaginative, magical, mysterious thing. And then people will believe. This is the common theme with him. We're too dumb to understand things. We need stories. Speak for yourself, Harari.
And we have now all these discussions about, for example, climate change. How to make the general public understand what is happening, what is the enormity of the crisis we are facing, what is the evidence supporting it, what should we do?
Okay, so let's take climate change, and we're not going to talk about the specifics here. I think Sabina Hofstetter has done a great video explaining climate change specifically. It is true that there are many climate scientists that believe in a catastrophic version of climate change. There are others that believe that things are still under control. The point is that this is an appeal to authority. It's appealing to climate scientists as replacing our reason. And then not only appeal to authority, but a ad populum fallacy, appealing to the majority. And the combination of the two, actually, is the appeal of the majority of the authorities. So you can find a substantial number, a good percentage of climate scientists that don't agree with others' climate scientists' narrative of impending catastrophe, right? And then let's say that there is impending catastrophe due to human-caused climate change. Well, what is the solution? Most people pushing this narrative would say that the solution is basically just authoritarianism, is to have the government completely control everything, reduce human activity, and stop everything. And that does not follow. It does not follow that if there is an environmental catastrophe happening, that authoritarianism is the solution. Of course, the opposite would be the solution. We need to have solutions for it. So therefore, people need to be able to think about the solutions and act according to what they think would be best. And of course, they will be in form of new technologies, wind technology, solar technology, geothermal technology, and these things. And in order to achieve cleaner, more efficient energy, we need a lot less authoritarianism. Let's get back.
The problem is scientists, including climate scientists, they think in facts.
The problem is that scientists think in facts. That's a problem, people.
In numbers, in statistics, in equations, in graphs, all the things that make most people fall asleep.
Okay, so yeah, climate scientists are fundamentally different from you and I, who are stupid, who don't like numbers and graphs and statistics. Just talking about them, I'm getting sleepy over here. So insulting, so belittling, but it's such a little mind to think these thoughts. Let's continue.
or just not get it. If you really want to make the public understand climate change, you need a story.
We need a story, a fiction. And this is what he means, right? Because he's not talking about a collection of facts and statistics like this story is no good, we don't understand, we'll fall asleep. We need a story. We need a fairy tale. We need a bit of witch doctory. This is essentially what he is. He is a witch doctor. It's claiming that, we need this, we need to make up something so all these imbeciles can follow us, the true leaders, the ones that know things, versus those that are helpless. This type of reasoning insults every one of us at our core. It insults our nature. And of course, he does it in a quite jovial, unassuming way. But these are the most dangerous people. He is one of the most dangerous intellectuals of our time. All right, let's continue here.
Why is it that after thousands of years of history, of developing, sophisticated networks of information and communication, our information is not getting any better? I mean,
our information is a lot better. Just look 200 years ago. We didn't understand theory of evolution. We didn't understand relativity. We didn't understand quantum mechanics. We didn't understand psychology and economics. Of course, there's still a lot to develop within the fields I just named, but our information is getting a lot better. So he's just making shit up now. Let's continue.
I mean, at the present moment, you can say that humans have the most sophisticated information technology in history. And
yes, we do. We absolutely do. We are sharing information more than ever. But let's see what he says.
We are losing the ability to even talk with each other.
Are we? I mean, right now, all you listening, you can be anywhere in the world. And I am talking to you. The ability is increasing drastically. Just think about it before the internet. Think about it. I mean, just think about it 1,000 years ago. It was clearly much harder to talk to anybody. You had no idea about. It's just like on the face, just completely false. There's not much you have to do to think to disprove what he's saying right now.
And to listen and to hold a reasonable conversation.
Yeah, we can't hold reasonable conversations because why? Because you're peddling nonsense. You're peddling nonsense that we can't hold a conversation. When you say we, do you mean you or do you just mean us? Are you the guru? Are you the wise man and all of us are just should be soldiers, defending your great intellect? I mean, yeah, belittling to the extreme. Okay, let's take this last one. Who has the real power? Let's see what he says. I bet you he thinks it's the witch doctors before we get into it, but let's see.
Experts in nuclear physics, for instance, get their orders from the people who are experts in Shiite theology or in Jewish theology or in communist ideology or in Nazi ideology.
Okay, so yes, the witch doctors, in a way, the mystical leaders, and it says the communists who are also mystics. They're materialists who are mystics of muscle. They don't understand the power of idea and think that material has created all the goodness. So they're also a mystic. They're in the class of mystics here. And he's saying that scientists get their orders from. Well, this is again an argument against authoritarianism. Let's continue.
If you have a single physicist, she is the most brilliant physicist in history, and she knows that E equals mc squared and all the secrets of quantum mechanics and whatever, she cannot produce an atom bomb by herself.
Okay, so this is just a simple fact that, large projects require lots of people and lots of moving parts. That is correct. Okay, let's go on.
Working in her garage or something. You need people to mine uranium, thousands of kilometers away. You need engineers and workers to build the nuclear reactor. You need people to produce food so that all these workers and physicists have something to eat. How do you get millions of people to cooperate on the project? If
you leave them free and they will pursue their own self-interest. And if there's a demand for something, and there is a supply, well, guess what? Somebody's going to supply it because it'll be economically beneficial to supply it. He's confused about how the market works. It's not from a command economy. It is not controlled from the top down, and this is why we have food and roads and schools and all these things. No. It's because people desire these things, and the more people are left to their own devices and free to think and act and contract with other rational people, you will have more of everything more efficiently, and progress will happen quicker. Yes, that's it. Let's continue.
If you just tell them the facts of physics, it doesn't work. So what? Just because E equals mc squared, we should now work on building this atom bomb? No,
No, that doesn't make any sense, right? They would work on an atom bomb if they regarded it in their own self-interest. So atom bombs and food are quite different things. So the government has some proper role in society, and it is to protect our rights that are essential and part of our nature, right? So I would say that the government should care about national defense, about the police, and about the courts, and upholding the rights of all the citizens. And it could be that that bombs and different forms of bombs, large and small, are needed for the national defense. And this would be decided by the people. And yes, all the moving parts would move if people were, if supply and demand was allowed to be unforced and free. It's really simple. Let's continue.
is where ideology and mythology and fictions come into the picture.
You see, this is where the witch doctors come in. We have the facts. We have the brutes that are just doing this stuff. But how do the brutes know what to do? Us dummies that don't like numbers and will fall asleep. How do we know? We need a witch doctor. We need a mystic. We need a guru. We need someone from on high revealing the truth to all of us idiots. What a horrible man. Okay, and who are the witch doctors? Well, guess what? He's definitely one of them. He's definitely one of the ones that thinks that everybody should be listening to him, right? Everybody should be listening to his ideas, and it would be better this way. Just a horrible witch doctor. And to use this term is not hyperbole. It is exactly what he is. He is a mystic. He is claiming that we need fiction in order to understand what is real. No, we do not.
Usually convince millions of people to work on a project together by telling them some ideology or some mythology. And here the facts don't matter so much.
The facts don't matter. What matters? Whatever the witch doctors desire, right? We want to do this for some perceived common good. That don't ask me much about it. Just if you're a blasphemer if you are saying anything against this. And infidels, they don't get to stay here. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, let's continue.
If you try to build a very powerful ideology and you ignore the facts, your ideology is still likely to explode with a very, very big bang.
I'm not sure if he meant that was good. The ideology is likely to explode with a very, very big bang. I think he means that, the facts don't matter, and your ideology will increase and will be very influential, even if you disregard the facts. I mean, that might be true. You can look at all the religions and other sorts of mystical ideologies that have gotten very popular, and they do ignore the facts. But ignoring the facts leads to contradictions. It leads to evil. It leads to bad results because A is A, so good is always good. Good cannot be both good and bad. Practical is moral, is rational. It's all the same. Let's continue.
People who are experts in the truth usually get orders from the people who are experts in order. And that's
well, again, this is showing how ridiculous the idea of authoritarianism is. How ridiculous is it that the people that know things have to listen to people that have no idea? Okay, good argument. That is a good argument against authoritarianism, but he's not making that. He's saying basically, oh, well, this is how it is. He's confusing the metaphysical with the man-made. These are all man-made things. Governments are all man-made institutions. They're not metaphysical facts of reality. This is not the way reality works. This has to do completely with human volition that has created these political structures. And they can be changed. And authoritarianism should definitely be changed in the sense that it should be annihilated. It should be gone if we want to progress and flourish and be as happy as we can be. Let's continue.
This is something that very often scientists and engineers don't understand, that they work and they think that the scientists and the engineers will decide what to do with it. But no, once you produce this very powerful technology because you know the facts about the world, then you will get the people who are expert in mythology and theology coming in and telling you, thank you very much for producing this very powerful technology. Now we will decide.
Yeah. You get the witch doctors coming in, and then they say, we will decide. I'm not sure if this is a good or a bad thing. It seems to be that he's viewing this, like I said, as a metaphysical fact of the universe, which just doesn't make any sense, because it's not. It's just not. This is a common conflation that people make. They say like, well, this is the way it is. So I'm living in the real world. So let's continue. Meaning like anything that is drastically different from what humans have created is necessarily impossible to achieve, which is not true. Anyway, yeah, these videos confirmed in my mind that Yuval Harari is a witch doctor, a very little mind, a very dangerous man. And yeah, if you read his books and you analyze it, honestly, you will realize that it is just full of junk. All right, got the most worked up today. Witch doctors do this to me. Mysticism in general, that it attacks us at our core, our fundamental nature of being rational. It says that you are actually nothing. Get in line and listen to us who get our orders from on high. Meaning from nonsense, essentially. I hope you enjoyed me actually thinking today. If you think I was thinking badly, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.